My name's Chance. I'm a pilot with over 3,000 flight hours. I've flown banners, skydivers, I'm a flight instructor, and I spent the last 3 years mastering flight simulators. In this video, I'm gonna walk you completely through how to purchase Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, download it, and then I'll give you a tour so you can maximize your experience. So first thing you want to do is head over to the official Microsoft Flight Simulator website, which is flightsimulator.com. And then once you get here, go ahead and scroll down and click on Purchase Here. You'll then see 4 different versions available: the Standard, the Deluxe, the Premium Deluxe, and Aviator. So what's the difference with each of these versions? Well, it comes down to the number of aircraft included in each package. So I'm going to put a link in the description that has this page on it, which covers all of the exact differences between the different packages, as well as the PC specs. So if you start at the top and scroll down, you'll see you'll have the different PC specs if you're looking to run it at mid-spec, recommended, or the ideal spec. If you keep scrolling down, it's going to have this chart of all the different packages: Aviator, Premium Deluxe, Deluxe, and Standard. And then it lists individually every single aircraft that's in that package. So instead of going through all those, let me just give you a quick rundown. So let me zoom in here and start off at the bottom here with this Standard package. Most of you are going to be perfectly happy with the Standard package. For the large aircraft enthusiasts, you have this Airbus A320 right here. You have this Beluga XL. Those are going to be really fun to fly around. This Archer, which is a VTOL aircraft, which means vertical takeoff and landing. You have a Bonanza G36. You have an F-18. That's going to be really fun. Then if you're going to be using this for flight training and you want to fly these basic trainers around like this Cessna 152 or this 172, then these are included as well. But keep in mind that this is the G1000 version, meaning the fancy glass cockpit. Most people, I would say, don't start with the fancy stuff. They start with the steam gauges, so the standard 6-pack instrument. And so that Cessna 172 is actually in the Deluxe package up here, which I'll talk about in a second. And so a couple other aircraft to know in this Standard package: you have a couple of Diamond aircraft. So the Diamond Aircraft DA40NG, which is next gen, and then the Diamond Aircraft DA62. So these are really common for people going through training, especially this DA40. The Icon A5, that's a really popular aircraft. It's amphibian, so you can land on water with it. And then I'll let you look through the rest of those. It's cool that they have the Wright Flyer in there. Coming up to the Deluxe package, you're going to get 10 new aircraft. So 172 with the steam gauges instead of the G1000. This amphibian is new. You get a couple different Diamond aircraft in here. And then the Premium Deluxe, which is actually the package that I'm going to go for, has this Cirrus SR-22 aircraft in it. You get a couple of bush planes, glider, a few helicopters. I'm probably not going to fly those. 787 Dreamliner. So I'm going to go with this Premium Deluxe package because it has the Bush aircraft in there and the Cirrus SR-22. And then above that, most of you aren't going to need to go into this Aviator tier. It does have some cool aircraft in it, like the Antonov AN-225. You got a Beech 18 in here, Bonanza V35. So if you are interested in flying these, then great. There is this Skyvan in here. So I said I used to fly skydive, and the military jumpers that would drop their meat rockets, is what we called them, next to ours, would fly this Skyvan. And so that's cool they have it in there. It's literally a minivan with wings. So that's really the main differences between the different packages. I'm going to go with the Premium Deluxe, like I said. So how do we do that? Well, there are 3 ways to buy it: through Steam, which is what I'm going to do, through the Xbox store, or it's free if you have Game Pass. The price through Steam and Xbox are the same, but the Game Pass starts at $10 a month and gives you access to a ton of games, but you never actually own the game. So if Game Pass is worth it to you, great. I'm just going to purchase it through Steam. Now, Steam is a video game store interface just like the Xbox store, but it's only for PC. So the fine print: if you purchase this game through Steam, you cannot use it for Xbox. But if you purchase it through the Xbox store, then you can use it on both PC and Xbox. So then why am I choosing Steam? Well, I don't play on Xbox anymore, so there's that, but also Steam has better compressions of the files and a way better user interface, which isn't going to drive you up the wall like it did for so many others in the last video I made for 2020 when I used the Xbox app to purchase it. So we're gonna do Steam this time. Now also, before I purchase it, it says here on this page that I've linked below, if you've purchased Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 and you got, let's say, the Premium Deluxe version, then the aircraft in the Premium Deluxe version from 2020 will transfer and be free to you if you purchase Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. Now, to do this, you must use the same Microsoft login that you used before. However, you will not get the 10 extra aircraft that are included in the 2024 Premium Deluxe version. So even though I purchased the Premium Deluxe a couple years ago, I still want the extra 10 aircraft, so I'm going to purchase the Premium Deluxe again. Now, third-party aircraft are scenery, so not from Microsoft, may or may not have a fee to upgrade to 2024. It just depends on the developer. Anyway, I'm gonna move on, but if you have more questions about this stuff, feel free to read this page or comment below and I'll personally respond to you. So again, I'm gonna buy it through Steam. And so when I get to this page, I'm gonna click on Steam right here. Now that's going to open up the Steam website, but you're gonna wanna download the Steam app in order to get access to that amazing interface. So I'm gonna click on this up here where it says install Steam, and then I'll click on install Steam again. And then if you're using Windows, you may see it install at the top right up here. If you don't see it up here, which you can just click on it if you do, you can press the Windows key on your keyboard and that's gonna open up all this. And then you can open up a file explorer. So maybe a right click and then open it up. And then you can navigate to your downloads folder on the left side here and then double click on this Steam setup exe file. And so then you're just gonna go through the download process, hitting next, choose your language. You don't have to change where this downloads, so just click install. I've already installed it, so I'm just gonna click cancel. But then it should open up Steam immediately after, and then you're gonna want to create an account if you don't already have one. And so if you need to create an account, here at the bottom right, it says create a free account. So just go through the process for that. I'm just gonna sign in real quick. I really do recommend setting up two-factor authentication for this. I did have a Steam account get hacked one time on my Call of Duty account, and so that was a real pain in the butt to get fixed. So I'll just go ahead and maximize this. Now that I'm signed in, you'll see that's me up here, Chance the Pilot. And I'm gonna go to the search bar here and I'm just gonna type in Microsoft. So it's gonna pull up right away, most likely. And I'm just gonna click on the first one there, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. And then here again, you're gonna see the 4 different options. So Standard, Deluxe, Premium Deluxe, and Aviator. I'm gonna purchase the Premium Deluxe. So I'm just gonna click Add to Cart. And then I'm gonna click on View My Cart. And then I'm just gonna go through the checkout process. So continue to payment, and then I'm obviously just gonna skip past this part. Okay, so now that it's purchased, just go ahead and click on this install content button right here, and that's gonna start installing the game. Now, what I really like about Steam's user interface is if you click on the bottom right here where it says downloads, that'll open up this profile view of your download, and at the top right, it's gonna give you the speed of your download and how many gigabytes it is. And so with this only being 11 gigabytes and me downloading at 500, 600, 700 megabits per second, this is really just gonna take a couple of minutes, which is pretty insane. Now, while this downloads, if you're new to flight simulators, I actually made this free beginner flight simulator guide just for you. It contains all of my gear recommendations for getting started, like PC specs, monitors, hardware, avionics, and some other resources. And on one of these pages, I point out a couple of the best, cheapest pieces of equipment that you can get when you're just starting out. And that's the new Turtle Beach yoke and rudder pedals. Now, this isn't sponsored by anything. I just think that it's really great gear to start out with. And so the rudder pedals and the yoke both work with PC and Xbox, so no matter what you have. And the yoke has a throttle attached to it, so you don't have to purchase a separate throttle. And it also has a ton of buttons that you can customize to act as different switches in the airplane, like your taxi light or your landing gear. And then the rudder pedals are pretty sweet for the price. And those 3 pieces are really essential for kind of getting started in the flight simulator world. And so having a yoke, a throttle, and rudder pedals, you can basically fly almost any of these aircraft. Now, if you're using this for flight training or fun, it doesn't matter. You'll notice that when you're programming flight plans into the GPSs, that it can get pretty tedious clicking the buttons. And so we at Real Sim Gear sell the physical pieces of hardware, like a GTN 750, for example, one of those touch screens GPSs. So that way you can use the touchscreen or the knobs on this physical piece of hardware instead of clicking the buttons in the sim, and it just makes it so much better. So anyway, there's a link in the description for this guide, and all those images are clickable links to check these items out on Amazon or our website at realsimgear.com. If you have any questions about anything, just comment below so I can help. And now that it's downloaded, let's open it up so I can give you a tour. So I'm just gonna click on this play button right here, and then we'll wait for it to launch up. Okay, so after you open the game, it's likely gonna bring you to this page where you have to connect to an Xbox network. And so I'm just gonna hover over this connect to Xbox network here and click on it. Okay, what that's gonna do, it's gonna allow me to sign in. So the trouble actually I'm having right now is, there we go, finding my mouse. Cool, and so now I'm just gonna go ahead and sign into my Microsoft account. If you don't have one of these, then you'll have to hit this create one button that's right beneath it. My mouse isn't showing, I can't even see it. Let's see, let's go off screen and then back on screen, there we go. It's a little buggy right now since it just came out a couple days ago, but yeah, go ahead and just sign into your Microsoft account. in order to click next, I have to like, hopefully you have two screens. I have to go off screen and then go back on screen so I can see my mouse, because when I click into it, my mouse disappears. So I'll click next. There we go. And two-factor authentication. It's a good thing. It's annoying, but it's a good thing. I actually had to go to my spam folder for this code, this two-factor code here. Again, clicking off screen to go back on screen, and then clicking sign in. Let this app access your info. So click off screen, go back on screen, accept. Cool, so that's me. That's my Xbox account or Microsoft account, same. And now I'm just gonna click let's go. And it looks like it's gonna load everything. Man, this thing really looks cool. Yosemite, bush flying. So what I really like about the bush planes in this is when you're landing on grass, it actually depresses the grass, and so it shows your tire marks, which is just an insane level of detail that they did not have to put into this game. There's this hour-and-a-half presentation that they do when they're over at the Grand Canyon or something, and it goes over all the details of everything that they put into this game. So I'll link that below if you want to check that out. But when this loads up here in a second, I'll give you a tour and kind of give you the highlights. All right, once it's finished loading, you're gonna get to this enable screen narration thing. I'm gonna hit skip on that. And then let's do start setup to begin. Okay, and so on this page, you can select how high you want to put the graphics. And so your PC specs are going to determine how high that you can put this. And so if we go back to this spec sheet right here, you're going to see that in order to put it on Ultra, you're going to want an i7 with a 14.7K and 12 gigabytes of VRAM, 64 gigabytes of regular RAM, and a decent internet connection in order to properly run this thing. And so in order to run it at the lower end, you're going to want at least 4 gigabytes of VRAM, 16 gigabytes of regular RAM, a halfway decent graphics card, and then at least an i7. And so I meet these qualifications sort of. I have a 3080, not a 4080, but it has a lot of VRAM and I have plenty of RAM. So I'm gonna try for the Ultra thing and see how it checks out. So I'm gonna click on Ultra, and then if you have any controls, like if you end up ordering the Turtle Beaches or you have your own controls already, like a lot of people are probably gonna have the honeycomb stuff, then you can click on this controls here and you can customize it, but I'm not gonna customize anything right now. Usually when you do plug it in, it works the way it's supposed to as a default. And so if you have the honeycomb stuff, you're gonna have like taxi lights, landing lights, that stuff is gonna work just fine. You don't have to customize it. But if you get the Turtle Beach, which has just a ton of buttons and switches, then yeah, you're gonna wanna customize it based off the aircraft that you're flying. And so that's just gonna take a little bit of time later, but I'm gonna skip over that for now. And then you can adjust your language here. So all that's good to me. I'm gonna click on continue. And so even though I am an experienced pilot, like I have a few thousand hours, I'm just gonna keep the assists on for now and then just turn them off if they get annoying. But I wanna see just kind of how it is first, and then I'll turn them off later. So finish setup, that was much easier than Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 when they kind of give you too many options. And that I didn't actually know that they had this, but you can customize your avatar, which is pretty cool. I don't really know what to do here. I don't really want to wear the penguins. I'm probably not going to customize this guy much, if at all. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to click continue. All right, and so it's actually showing me this page that says, oh, we know you. It says right here, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 Marketplace content that has been purchased previously is coming soon. So what I was talking about of the aircraft that I purchased a couple years ago, that's gonna be available for free here now. But since I just purchased the Premium Deluxe anyway, it doesn't really matter to me. And so that's cool. If you did purchase it and you purchase the standard edition now, you're probably just gonna have to wait a little bit in order for that stuff to become available to you in 2024. All right, so here is the main menu. So starting at the top, we have World Photographer, Activities, Career Mode, Challenge League, Free Flight, and Marketplace. Just going over the highlights here for each of these things. World Photographer just allows you to go anywhere in the world and take pictures. And they actually have challenges for these pictures. And so it's gonna say, get the moon in the photo, or make sure you have these POIs in the photo as well. And then it'll give you a rating based on those photos. And maybe you can earn credits or income based off that, but I'm not entirely sure. Now, the career mode is something that I'm really, really interested in because supposedly it allows you to do any of the jobs that they have. So aerial firefighting, skydiving, banner towing, and they've worked to make it really realistic. And so you can start out as a student pilot and you can earn your certificates, get your commercial pilot certificate. And then once you're a commercial pilot, you can start flying around and earning money. And so let's say you start out doing some small jobs like banner towing or skydiving or something, right? You can earn an income based off of the jobs that you do, and depending on if you do a good job or not will earn you more money and get you some reputation. And then the higher reputation that you have, the more income that you will earn. And then what you can do with this income is you can use it to buy airplanes and then eventually get a fleet going, different fleets in different parts of the world, purchase an airliner, that kind of stuff. So I don't know the full details to it, but that's just what they said in one of their announcements. So I'm really excited to dive in here and see what kind of modes and accolades that you can get from this. All right, so the challenge league. So this thing sounded pretty awesome. So I guess there's going to be weekly challenges. And so every week they're going to have 3 new challenges and it's going to change each time. And then you're going to earn points based on how you do. So rally race, kind of like that Top Gun Maverick challenge from Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. And you're going to earn a rank depending on how well you do. And if you rank really high, then you're going to get rewards off of it. And I'm not sure what those rewards are just yet, but this looks like it's going to be just a really fun way to keep things interesting on a regular basis, like new challenges every week, and then a scoreboard on how you measure up against other people. So I think this is going to be really cool. I'm definitely going to try these out a little bit later. So I'll just go back to the main menu. I already like this user interface more than the last one. Free flight is just going to be is what it sounds like. So this is pretty similar to the last one where you can choose your departure, you can choose your destination, you can set the time of day, whether you want it to be live or you want to choose your own custom time of day. And then one of the new things they announced is this EFB function, which stands for electronic flight bag. And an EFB is what us pilots use all the time in order to make flight plans. Typically we use third-party apps and an iPad, so something like ForeFlight or Garmin Pilot, but they've actually built in a similar thing to that inside of the software. So this thing is pretty cool. So there's a ton of features in here. You can file flight plans, choose different routes. You can set your weight and balance. So what you're carrying, how many people, the cargo, how much fuel you have on board, all that stuff. And so you can actually do some real flight planning with this thing. So you got the aircraft right here, performances, different checklists, aircraft information. You'll have your logbook right there. So there's different settings right here if you want to make it a little bit bigger or smaller. You can also change your units of measure here. So knots, feet, nautical mile, pounds, gallons. I actually do use Celsius though here in the United States. All this other stuff is accurate though for the United States. It's different in other places. And then with Flight Planner, looks like we can clip some charts here. So take different aeronautical charts and place them here. So that's cool. And then I like how the iPad has different apps. So your logbook, the aircraft flight planner is what they're calling it, the different apps. And this is the iPad. So it's really freaking cool the way that they've done this. And then next we have this activities tab. And so in this activities tab, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do, which is just way better than Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. So you have flight training, rally races, low altitude landing challenges, that kind of stuff. Then there's some extra DLC that you can likely purchase. It's probably going to get released here soon, so this will likely be available for you later, but like the Red Bull air races or other air races, custom content. So the custom content is going to be what you purchase from the marketplace. There's not going to be anything right now since it just came out a couple days ago, but that is kind of everything here. And then in this flight training tab, I really like how they've done this. Starts with basic handling, takeoff and landing, and then VFR navigation, which is what everyone typically starts out with. And then it goes on to IFR navigation. You can fly helicopters, bush pilots, gliders, F-18s, and so on. And so if you click into this basic handling thing, you'll see that it's kind of superficial. I mean, it goes over sim controls, some power settings, trim management. But if you're really looking to get the most out of your flight simulator and use it to progress towards maybe even eventually getting your pilot certificate, I'd really recommend checking out our online course, Flight Sim Pro. In the course, I teach you everything that I would teach one of my student pilots on how to get their private pilot certificate, all while using an at-home flight simulator. So how to start the plane, taxi, takeoff, cruise, level off, descend, and an entire landings mini course. I teach you everything that you need to know about how to fly a basic trainer, which is a Cessna 172 Skyhawk. So if you really want to put your skills to the test and wow your future flight instructor, check it out at flightsimpro.com. There's a free video in there where I show you how to start a Cessna 172. Okay, and then lastly, if we go back to this main menu, there's just the marketplace, and unfortunately there's nothing I can show you in here because it's not out yet. It's only been out a couple days. So that is basically it for this Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 purchase walkthrough. If you have any questions whatsoever, feel free to comment below this video and I will personally answer your questions. And it would also mean the world to me if you subscribe to our channel so I can make more videos just like this. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. Happy flying. Peace.